Hey YouTube, Rook here from Rook Geek. Goodness, my little channel on the web for all things geeky and cool. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to a brand new Funko review. Rather, we're going to be talking about Funko Pop Battle Royal Season 1 semifinal matchup number 2. This matchup will lead into the finale. We've been doing this series for over 8 months now. As long as I've been living at this particular apartment, we've been doing these videos about once every month or so a video. And this one is no different. The semifinal matchup, of course, we're going to be going with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Walgreens exclusive, versus the standard common version of Psylocke. I didn't think this matchup would go this way. This is what you guys, the viewers and subscribers, wanted. You wanted this matchup, and you guys delivered. I'm very, very happy to present these guys to you in this matchup. Now, let's get some of the things out of the way first and foremost. If you've never seen a review I've done for Funko Pop Battle Royal, I do a completely different than anybody else on the internet when I talk about Funko review videos. I'm not going to review these particular pops like a normal traditional review. I'm going to review them specifically objectively, meaning I'm going to review the pops that you see. I'm not worrying about the characters' weapons, their proficiencies, their skills, their histories. None of those sort of things are going to go into this review. I'm strictly going to look at the pops in my hand and compare them pros and cons against one another. At the end of the video, will be a section called Cast Your Vote. This is where you, the viewers and subscribers, can make your voice heard. If you think Obi-Wan should win, vote for Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you think Psylocke should win, vote for Psylocke. And that's how this video segment series is going to go down. With that being said, let's go into a breakdown segment and finish the semifinal matchup number 2. Alright guys, we're in a breakdown segment looking at the Obi-Wan Kenobi Walgreens exclusive and of course the common version of Psylocke. And the very first thing we do in the breakdown segment is look at the packaging and presentation. We reviewed both these pops multiple times, but we're going to do the same thing like we did in those other reviews again. We're going to focus on them one by one since it's much easier to review the pops this way. We'll focus first on the Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is kind of your typical Star Wars packaging you normally see in a standard size box. We have, of course, the pop logo here, the Star Wars logo, number 273. A nice shot of Obi-Wan right here. It does say Obi-Wan Kenobi, the all-important Walgreens exclusive sticker. This is the newer sticker, not the older one which said exclusive. This is the newer Walgreens sticker, which you can only get at Walgreens or maybe through a third-party vendor, your Amazons, your eBays. That's how you could get it as well. Over here, we have a shot of what the character would look like out of packaging. It does say Pops again, Obi-Wan Kenobi, number 273. Over here, you have the text that says Obi-Wan Kenobi 273. And the back of the packaging is very kind of drab as far as there's no real color, except a black background says Star Wars and Pops, the same side shot we've seen here, and all the characters will be available in that particular wave. So your typical basic Star Wars packaging with, of course, the Walgreens exclusive sticker. This gives a strategic advantage as far as the packaging goes compared to Psylocke, because Psylocke does not have any exclusivity at all. Anywhere you could have gotten the Psylocke, you could have gotten that pop. Speaking of Psylocke, let's go to her right now. Much more colorful packaging. We have the pops again, no special name underneath it. Part of the X-Men line, so we have Star Wars going against Marvel, which is Marvel property across both basically, but you have Star Wars versus X-Men, number 180. I got a nice shot of her right here. It says Psylocke again, it's not exclusive in any way. A side shot of what the character would look like out of packaging. Does say Pops again, the Marvel logo. Nice shot of Psylocke. Over here we have the text that says Psylocke, and the back of the packaging. We've seen this back of the packaging for Marvel figures before. I'll get a little closer so you can see. It might be difficult to pick up on camera, but there's comic paneling that's behind here. And of course, all the characters that would be available in that particular wave. Let's focus on them side by side so you can see them side by side close up. So we have what they would look like from the front. We have, of course, what they would look like from this side. I would say the Psylocke has a much brighter packaging compared to Obi-Wan Kenobi. So as far as the packaging goes, I think Psylocke gets the nod there. We have, of course, the text. Very similar text between the two pops. Let me get them kind of even. Apologies for the glare. And again, the back of the packaging, which we were talking about as far as the color goes, we have, of course, the Obi-Wan one over here, and we have Psylocke over here. But I still think the back of the packaging for the X-Men one, the Psylocke figure, is much more colorful compared to the darker tones of the Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, again, spinning them both around, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Psylocke. Let's get both these pops out of packaging and continue the breakdown segment. Alright guys, we have our Obi-Wan Kenobi Walgreens exclusive out of packaging and our common version of Psylocke. And next thing we do to take pops out of packaging is look at the paint and articulation. Again, we'll focus on one character at a time. It's much easier to review it that way. Let's focus first on Obi-Wan Kenobi. This version of Obi-Wan Kenobi appears to be probably from Revenge of the Sith or from the Clone Wars movie. That's what it looks kind of like to me, Attack of the Clones. One of the two movies, Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. This is kind of how he looked there. I love the way this character looks. The robe is flowing across the character. You can see it sort of on the top right here, the top of the hood. It's sort of rippling effect. I love the way the ripples look. The hood is pulled very, very tight over his head. He does showcase his traditional beard. Looks great. The normal traditional Jedi robe he has on right there, which looks like there's layers of the fabric. You can see him right here in this sleeve, and of course on this sleeve over here. You can see the sort of ripples of the robe. And underneath the robe, he has the Jedi tunic on, the lighter colors for the pants and the boots. He is sporting his traditional blue lightsaber right here. You could probably put a light up to it, get some light piping out of it, which looks pretty cool. Next question you might ask yourself, the base right here. Can you remove Obi-Wan from the base? The answer is no. He is glued down. He's adhered to this base. They've done this mainly because I'm guessing maybe licensing, maybe there was a deal with Funko and Disney, or in this case, who owns Marvel, owns Lucasfilms, of course. Maybe there was a deal in place to make it adhere to the base. Maybe the collectors said, you know what, we'd rather have the base, him to be attached to the base instead of coming off. Older versions of Star Wars Pops, you can remove the figure from the actual base here, so you'd have the figure and the base separate. It usually was tied down with two plug points, two posts in the bottom of the base, the two holes in the feet. You can't put the figure down that way or remove it. This one, you cannot do that. But all things considered, he looks very, very good. Very neat looking figure, sort of an action stance. One of the big problems I always have with Star Wars and Marvel Pops exclusively is the bobblehead. I don't like the bobblehead. You can see it right there. Most of them are very, very messed up when it comes to bobbleheads. The springs get messed up. There are certain Star Wars Pops that, of course, are bobbleheads. You can turn the head to give them articulation. You can do it. But for these guys, you can't really do that. Maybe if you wanted to lubricate the spring, you might have an easier time of turning the head. You can do that as well. But for the most part, not a big fan of bobbleheads, but still a great pop nonetheless. Now let's focus on Psylocke here. Psylocke is, of course, from the X-Men line. She does sport a double post right here in her feet. You need this post or this figure would not be able to stand properly, mainly because the sheer amount of hair, the amount of vinyl this figure has is a lot. If you didn't have the figure stand, she would be toppling front over. She's extremely front heavy. Love the way she looks, the sort of Asian take of the Psylocke character. Nice eyebrows right there. Of course, the purple hair and is parted right there. She does have a full bluish colored bodysuit with a pink sash, and of course, she has a katana in this hand, a silver katana with a black handle, and of course, the traditional Psy knife. Could it have light piping as well? If you put some light through it, will it shine? Probably. I would see the same thing, just like the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber here. It would probably be the same sort of deal. Funko usually does translucent material very, very well. They've had quality control issues in the past with other translucent materials, so be careful before you purchase. If you see something in the store that you like, if it has a translucent material, just take a look at it, make sure it's not broken in the packaging before you bring it home. Again, she does look very, very good. Very slender body. We've talked about that before. This particular figure is a very, very small body, comparatively speaking, than, let's say, the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Most of the time, female Funko Pops are usually much smaller, slender, more petite figures than the male counterparts. That's just how they're designed that way. So again, great pop, but she's a common pop. Now let's focus on both pops simultaneously. Let's look at them both. Let's go this way. Much easier to focus on them this way, which is how we started the video. This is how they would look kind of side by side from the front. If we turn them this way, of course, Obi-Wan is much taller because of this base. You cannot remove it, as we mentioned before. The back of each one of them looks good as well. And over here is the other side of each figure. Again, Obi-Wan is towering over Psylocke, mainly because of this base. But they both look good. Let's go into cast your votes, and for you guys to vote for who you think should win the semifinal battle match. All right, guys, time to cast your vote. Who do you think won the semifinal matchup number 2? Was it Obi-Wan Kenobi here, the Walgreens exclusive, or was it the Psylocke pop? Click the I above right now to make your voice heard and vote for who you think would go into the semifinal round matchup. This has been a great, great tournament so far. I'm very excited to see what the last round of the Season 1 competition would be. I do hope you like this content. Remember to click the like button at the bottom of the page. Click the subscribe button. When you subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon to be notified of my latest videos, because they've been removing the bell icons from a lot of YouTubers. Make sure you click that bell icon to be notified of my latest content. And of course, last but not least, you can click Windows over here to watch more of my content. Take care, guys. See you next video. And bye-bye.